Hello and welcome to Isolation Football, the brand new podcast brought to you on YouTube by myself and a couple of mates who will be joining me over the next few weeks and months. Really, we started this podcast just to, spread a bit of love, laughter over this difficult time in the world. Obviously, there's no sport, so I thought I'd try and give you my opinion on sport, and hopefully you all enjoy it. I've messaged you over the past few days asking you to retweet my tweets and get the podcasts going around Twitter and other social media. I just want to say thank you so much for the support. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's hopefully just the start. Hopefully we're going to kick on and really do well. There is a main podcast coming Friday with pieces to camera, pieces to microphone. However, this is just a quick bit to microphone, just a bit of an introduction and answer a few questions that you've got regarding football, mainly United. But football as a whole. Just before I kick off, I just want to remind you all to press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But I don't think many of you would have, because I only got 3 subscribers at the moment. Also push the notification button, so every time we upload a new podcast, you'll get the notification, meaning you could be one of the first ones to watch the new material. So I'm going to kick off. Got the first question here. Someone asking who my favourite player is. Simple answer, it's Bruno Fernandes. Don't need to go all around the houses with that. It's Bruno Fernandes. Been fantastic since he joined United. What a signing. The next one is by Salahology. Asking for opinions on Mo Salah. Salahology will be coming on the podcast at some point. We're not sure when, but he will be coming on. He's one of my close friends, so he'll be getting on here. Oh, you get to see his ugly mush. But no, he asked for opinions on Mo Salah. It's a difficult one. For me, Mo Salah, his numbers speak for himself. He'll score goals in that Liverpool side. I think you put him in any other team in the league, apart from Manchester City, I don't think he does as well. I really don't. I think he misses a lot of chances in crucial moments in big games. I think he's quite lucky to be in the team that he's in. But I think if you call him a one-season wonder, I think that's a bit unfair. I think he's a very good footballer, but I won't put him in the bracket with the likes of Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messi, even Jadon Sancho, or Mane as well. I don't think I'd put him in that bracket. I think he's a very good footballer, but I don't think he's world class every day, and I don't think he'll be world class in every team. He has his days, he has his moments. Don't get me wrong, but for me, he's not the hype. He doesn't deserve the hype that everyone gives him. The third question now is from Orbasman UK. I think I pronounced that right. I'm not too sure. Asking if we sold Pogba, who would be his replacement? I think that's a really good question. I think if we sell Pogba, 2 months ago it was when we sell Pogba. Now it's if we sell Pogba. I think Pogba's a quality footballer, and he can play in every aspect of midfield. He's attacking, box-to-box, defensive midfielder. So it depends on what you want to replace. If you want to replace a defensive midfielder, personally, I'd go for Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester. I think he's a top footballer, but you've got to look at the downside of dealing with Leicester again after that Harry Maguire saga in the summer. They're going to demand money. They know they can get money off us. Will they continue to do that if we come sniffing around the players again? They're going to have Champions League football next year. We might not. It's down to the player also. That'd be my defensive midfielder replacement. But I think you're probably talking with Pogba more box-to-box and attacking midfielder. Box-to-box, I like Sal Niguez, who plays for Atletico Madrid, Spanish midfielder. I think he can do the defensive work and box-to-box. He's aggressive, works hard. And he's a decent age. I think he's 25, 26. So it's like for like, really, in that aspect. And I think that would be a good option. Manchester City have sniffed around him a few times in previous summers. Guardiola's a massive fan, so it does tell you a lot about the personality and the character. More looking attacking wise, I think you'd have to look at the likes of James Maddison, Jack Grealish. I think they're the two main ones. And the third one for me would be Kai Havertz, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen. I think he's a top footballer. A bit like Grealish, a bit like Maddison. That number 10 role, I think probably them three are the only Manchester United quality available, reasonable, realistic options. For me, Jack Grealish is one that could happen. Maddison 50-50 and Kai Havertz, well, I don't think there's been a rumour yet, but if there is, I'm all over that. I'm happy with that. Staying on the topic of Pogba, United Ayush, I think that's how you pronounce it, has asked me if we still need a midfielder if Pogba stays. I think that's a good question because we've got 5 quality midfielders in Matic, Fred, McTominay, Fernandes and Pogba. I think we need another. I think this season and last season has proved our strength in depth is poor. We have had too many injuries, so many injuries. It's cost us ridiculous amounts. I think next season we need to recruit. But I don't think we need a 60, 70 million pound midfielder. I think if you're looking at 20, 30, 40 maybe as a midfield option. Because for me, if Pogba stays, the starting midfield should be Fernandes, Pogba and Fred. Matic coming in, McTominay coming in. That's a good rotation. No, usually, in a non-injury stricken side, that'd be enough. But we are constantly hit with injuries. I don't know what we do in training. And maybe it's that. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I honestly don't. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's the warm-up. Maybe it's the cool-down. Maybe it's the minutes they play. Maybe it's the training. I don't know. But I think another midfielder around 30, 40 million pounds would be good. That is it. I always forget to pronounce his name. Boubakary Samari, something like that, who plays for Lille in Liga. Young defensive midfielder. There was rumours we were going to sign him in January. Sky Sports reported that he's definitely leaving. He's either coming to United or Chelsea, and then he stays at Lille. So I don't know on that one, but that's a decent signing of what I've heard anyway. I can't really talk too much about him because I don't really know much about him. But I've heard people praise him. So it'll be interesting to see if he did come back to Manchester United. But I don't know. The next question is from Football Connor. Best player in the world right now? For me, when you talk about best player in the world, you think about an attacking midfielder. I wouldn't. For me, the best player in the world is Van Dijk. Has been for about 2 years. You know, he should have won the Ballon d'Or. He should have won the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. I think because he was a defender, he didn't win the Ballon d'Or. I think for me, what he's achieved, Champions League winner, his authority, what he brings to the side, to that Liverpool side. You know, he's a leader. I think when Jordan Henderson is not there, he fills his boots fantastically. But not only that, it was last season where he wasn't dribbled past. He wasn't dribbled past for a long period of time. It was all season. That is an incredible stat that I think just goes over my head, to put it bluntly. Some of the attackers he played in that year as well, phenomenal. I think he's the best defender around, definitely. I think you put him in any team in the world, whether it's in the Chinese Super League or, like say, Liverpool, European champions, he'll sort their defence out 100%. He's got a really strong authority. I think he's an awesome centre-half, and like I say, I think he's the best player in the world. The next question: how do you think United's rebuild will pan out in the coming years, and when do you think that we will challenge for the league again? Also, opinions on signings. Good question by United, Tommy. For me, it's simple as that. as simple as we have to stick by the manager. We have to stick to a manager. We can't go change a manager every 2-3 years when it suits us, because that just simply won't work. We have to stick to a manager. Ollie now surely has to be the one to take us forward, as far as he can anyway. A couple of trophies, hopefully. And the signings have to be right. In all fairness to Ollie, he's had 2 transfer windows, and all signings have been perfect. Dan James, you could put question marks on, but at the end of the day, he's got 6 assists in the league this season. If you would have said to me at the start of the season he'd have 6 assists in the Premier League, I'd have bit your hand off. But I think the way hasn't really panned out for the amount of games he's played. No, I think overall, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's recruitment and his signings have been good. He always talks about holding off in the market, not rushing, not panic buying. I thought Agallo was a panic buy, panic loan. But he obviously saw something in him. He obviously saw a good quality in him. And you know what? I was the one who said, why are we signing this fool? But honestly, what a player. His hold-up play, by the way, is absolutely phenomenal. He's so strong. And yeah, but I think as well, you've got to gradually build the team. You can't do what Louis van Gaal did in his first 2 seasons, and he signed Di Maria, Falcao, Schweinsteiger, Schneidlin, Blind, Rojo, Ander Herrera. There's so many players you're asking to gel in such a small space of time. You can't bring all those players in and go, play my way. You've got to drip feed them in. You know, a couple of signings here, 3 signings there, 2 there, another 1 there. It's gradually building a team. Alex Ferguson used to do it for years and years and years. You know, you look at the mid-2000s, how we didn't have a Premier League title. But Ferguson didn't panic, and he gradually built a team. Obviously, we've not won a league in 7 years now. The gap is getting bigger. That is a long time for Manchester United. However, you got to trust the process. You've got to gradually build the team and make them gel. And if that happens, then you'll be fine. In terms of signings, I've got a couple of wrote down here. For me, Jadon Sancho's a must. He has to come in the summer. He wants United. United want him. It's a no-brainer. You know, you pay whatever you have to pay for him. He's got chemistry with Rashford, other English players as well, which will attract him. We need a right winger. We need a right winger. Said it all season. United seem to attack down the right-hand side a lot, which is funny because we don't have the quality there. I think with Sancho there, I think you'd notice the difference straight away near enough. And I think you'd notice that the striker's goal tally will rise as well, crosses into the box. I'll also look at Jack Grealish. I think he's very versatile, left-hand side, number 10. Can play a number of positions. And I like that. I'd be tempted to look at the situation at the end of the season, whenever that may be. See where Aston Villa go. Did they go down? If they go down, I think Jack Grealish will 100% leave. I think he could still leave if they stay up. More likely if they go down. But I said it for months. I would go to Aston Villa at the end of the season if they go down and say, look, Jack Grealish, John McGinn, how much do you want? Because for me, they're 2 fantastic players. John McGinn, I think he really got under the radar recently because of his injury. He's been out for quite a while. Before that, he scored a hat-trick for Scotland. He scored a few goals for Aston Villa this season, a couple of important goals. He's a midfielder who works his socks off. Can play, again, a number of positions in that midfield. So I'd be tempted to do that. Also, I watch the Championship a lot. So any of you on here who watch the Championship will obviously know Calvin Phillips from Leeds. He's a really, really top quality midfielder. Quite young, defensive midfielder. Him and Mateus Click ran the show away at Arsenal in the FA Cup in that first half. And if it wasn't for Patrick Bamford maybe not hitting the target, I think one of them would have gone on to get man of the match because they really dominated that first half. Phillips is a top player, really aggressive, really tough. I might be wrong by saying he's a Yorkshireman, so that is in his blood. He's a top quality footballer. I'm tempted to look at that. However, Leeds will probably come up, so will he want to stay there? Give it a season like Grealish did. It'd be interesting. Another interesting rumour that I've heard and I've seen on Sky over the past few days is the Aubameyang. Aubameyang wants to leave Arsenal, is my understanding. United are linked with him. I think the third favourites, around 50 million. I think that's a lot of money. 50 million for a 30-plus-year-old striker is a lot of money. Is it going to be another Sanchez saga where we sign him and he flops? 50 million is a big risk on any striker. A 30-year-old striker, however, he is Premier League proven. Don't get me wrong. 50. How long are you going to have him for? 2-3 years, depending on his body, how he feels. Don't get me wrong, Aubameyang will score goals. But that price tag does worry me a bit. I think Aubameyang will leave Arsenal in the summer, though. Could we snap him up? Could we get him for a bit less? I'd hope so. So yeah, I look at that at signing for me, for Aubameyang, around 30 million. 35 million would be fair enough because of his age. I think he's coming towards an end of a contract. I might be wrong. So yeah, but it all comes back to the situation we missed out on Haaland. Edward didn't want to get bullied, which is fair enough, and he didn't pay the agent fees. He didn't want to pay the wages. He put his foot down with the Haaland deal. We missed out majorly. I think if you put Erling Haaland in that side, I think you're talking, putting pressure on Liverpool City next year. I really do. With a couple of other good signings and him, I think you are really knocking on the door of City and Liverpool. If it wasn't to be, it didn't happen. But I believe that Erling Haaland will play one day in a United shirt. I think he's like that Zlatan type. I think he'll move from club to club. And if he wanted to come to United at any point further down his line and he's still bagging goals, I'd take him without a blink. Without a shadow of a doubt. I do apologise. Next question. If you didn't support United, who would you support? By Niall Moran. Niall Moran. Yes, if I didn't support United, it's a tough one because my granddad used to support Leeds, so I'd have to say them. However, that's going to cause a stir on my Twitter because obviously Leeds United, that historic rivalry. In terms of the way I like the way they play, I'd have to say Leicester. I really like the way Leicester play. I like the manager. I like the players. I think Jamie Vardy he's a top player. James Maddison, top player. Tielemans, brilliant player. Harvey Barnes, really underrated. There's a squad building there, a real squad. If they can keep hold of them players and add to them, keep the manager, they'll become a top 6 side for definite. And they're going to get Champions League football next year unless they really, really slip. We'll have to see what happens, won't we? But yeah, to keep fans, I'd say Leicester. The next one's a good question. Most skilled dribblers in the Premier League by Surely Silver. That's his handle. The first four that spring to mind are Rashford, Mane, Mahrez, and Adama Traore. All kind of similar, apart from say Mahrez and Traore, who are a bit different. What amazes me with Mahrez is he's so predictable, but it's so effective at the same time. No one can defend against it. If I had to pick one overall best dribbler, for me it's Adama Traore. He's just his power, everything about him. He's so technical. He's really hard to get off the ball. You can't get close to him because he'll knock it past you. You can't stay too wide because he'll just run at you. He's too technical. He's so good with his feet. He's so strong. In terms of if I want someone running into the box at full tilt, using his footwork, if I had to pick one man in the Premier League, Adama Traore, 100%. Another one here, another question by MUFC Demon. Should the season be cancelled or played in the summer? That's a good question. I don't want to go into too much detail on this because I have got the podcast with Martial 9 and MCFC Ollie and Cam, who will be coming on the podcast on Friday. We do cover that. So I don't want to go into too much detail. Put it bluntly, I think it should be cancelled. I think they have to because it's uncertainty on when it will resume. It could be months. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But like I say, there'll be more detail that on Friday, so I don't want to go into too much detail. But my overall opinion has to be cancelled. You have to look towards next year. But yeah, like I said, keep an eye out on Friday. and you'll get the answer to that question in full detail off all of us. It's a good question actually. Rank the top leagues by quality, from top to bottom, by Toro LFC. I think that's a fantastic question. A bit of a different question. We're not talking about United. Fifth, I've gone for Eredivisie. The Netherlands. By the way, it's going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 being the best, 5th being not the worst, but Eredivisie. I think I put it above Ligue 1. I really would. There's more more competition in that league. You look at Alkmaar, Ajax, Feyenoord at the top, quite tight. Liga, same old story. PSG running away with it. I don't really tend to take much notice of Liga, to be honest. Don't rate the football. I think it's really poor. It is what you call a farmers' league, in my opinion. So I don't really tend to watch it or get involved in it. Number 4, going for Serie A. The thing stopping me putting up higher, I think, in terms of competition, this season you've really stepped up the teams. You've got Atlanta really breathing down Juventus' neck. Inter Milan were for a while. Other teams emerging, Napoli as well. I think they've had a bit of a shaky season by their standards, but I think they'll be back up there. The only reason I put them lower is because of the way they play, the style of football. It's quite boring, quite defensive, really slow. That's the reason why it's so low. In terms of competition, I think they're really up there. They're probably up there with the Prem in terms of closest. Obviously not this season with the Prem, but season's gone by. I think you'd have to put them around that bracket. Number 3 is La Liga. La Liga, I think it's a top league. I think it's a really, really top league. I think the bubble's burst in Spanish football, though. I really do. Ever since probably Neymar left, Ronaldo then, and then the league just seems to be losing its profile, losing its quality. They don't dominate as much. Barcelona haven't won a Champions League for about 5 years. That's a lot. That's a lot for Barcelona to go without winning a Champions League. Real Madrid, obviously, they won the 3 on the bounce. But Ronaldo carried them to the 3 on the bounce. You can't even deny that. I think Spanish football is on the decline. I really do. That's why I've ranked it 3rd. Not as low as Serie A yet, but I think that's me in a few more months, and I think, maybe a couple of years, Serie A will be in that 3rd spot. 2nd, I've gone for the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga, for me, are on the increase. They're swapping places with La Liga. I think you look at the recruitment in terms of developing young English talent. Sancho, Reece Nelson was there last year. John Joe Kenny's at Schalke, I think. Lookman was over there for a while. I think he might be still over there. I think Reece Oxford, who's picked West Ham, is over there as well at the moment. They are really trusting in the English youth. They're really getting a league going there. A bit more competition between Dortmund and Bayern Munich, with Leipzig joining the pack as well now. I think that's a really good emerging league, and I think in a few years' time, I think if they can keep hold of key players and develop new players, I think the Bundesliga is going to be off the scale near the Premier League level. I really do rate that league. You know what? And sometimes I do flick it on. It's quite competitive. The football's not amazing, but it's still a very, very good league. The atmosphere as well is awesome. Number 1, there's no brainer really. Let's be honest, it's the Premier League. The Premier League's been untouchable for 28 years. Now it's untouchable. The moments, everything from the fans, from the games to the moments to the goals, even to the spin-off shows they do you see on Sky Sports and BT. Everything about the Premier League, for me, is the biggest sports league in the world. Maybe you could argue the NFL, but in terms of globally, I think the Premier League's right up there. Everyone knows the Premier League, everyone knows United, everyone knows Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, City. Those teams, everyone knows them. They're top teams worldwide. Premier League for me, quality, the pace of the game. everything about it. I think we really do take it for granted. I think we take it for granted for the past God knows how many years when we don't have it at the moment. And it's really hard talking about it because I miss it. And I'm sure everyone listening does too. But yeah, no brainer. Number 1, I have ranked the Premier League. Another question now, coming on to the final 2. Do you think we have the potential to be the best team in the next few years? On regards to United, I think it's Bevso who's put that. I think that's how you pronounce it. For me, it depends on one thing, or a couple of things, just saying. One of them being recruitment. It always depends on the recruitment. The way the club's ran. We're not building a team anymore. We're building a squad. We're rebuilding the club. We need that happiness around the club, around the place again. Wanting to play for Manchester United. Wanting to play for the fans. To play for the badge. It's all dependent on recruitment, about getting the right clientele. It's simple as that. You're not gonna get that happiness around the camp and that feeling by recruiting a person who's come for the money, for example. Digs at Alexis Sanchez there. Someone like that. You want someone who's going to work hard, young, hungry. No, don't even have to be young. You just have to be hungry. Look at Gallo, 30 years old, but he's hungry. He wants to play for United. It's about building the club again. From the staff to the players, to the fans, to everyone. You have to love Manchester United to be there, to want to be involved in United. And if you don't, then I think you've got to go. And also find consistency. We've been inconsistent this season. Last season also. This season, we've shown we can prove ourselves against the big teams. City away, City at home, Liverpool at home, Chelsea away. They're the type of games that we've not even looked in mismatching. The games against Watford away, Crystal Palace at home, those type of games where you look at the result and go, how the hell did we lose that? I think bringing Fernandes in was fantastic. He can break teams down. We look like we want to break teams down. We look confident. But yeah, that's probably the main thing. Recruitment, building the club again, and finding consistency. And I think if we can do that, why the hell not? Why can't we challenge to be the best team in the world? Last question. It's a good question by J Noseball. Sorry. With United on form, securing big money deals, do you still trust Woodward and the board? The board's been a problem for years. The glory has masked the issues. It's as simple as that. These problems have been going on for years and years and years. But because it's not happening on the pitch anymore, people are turning to the board and to Ed Woodward, the owners as well. It's the reason why it's happening. You can't deny that. If we were still winning title after title, no one would care. I think some fans are using it as an excuse to get their anger out on the club because of what's happening on the pitch. It's as simple as that. For me, I've never really got involved in the Glazers out, Woodward out situation. For me, if we bring in profit and aren't losing money, we win trophies, we recruit well, and we play entertaining football, I've got no complaints. The big thing for me is bringing in profit, not being in debt. United have been in debt for years. No one said anything. United have been in debt for a very, very long time. And no one has said anything because, well, why would they? We're winning. No one cares. They're not bothered. It's not impacting them. It's not their money. But when they're paying thousands of pounds for a season ticket and they're not getting on the pitch, that's when they're starting to get pissed off. Like I say, I think if Woodward signs the right players, we play the football, and we stay top of the financial ladder in terms of profit, in terms of income, in terms of all that, and we're not losing money, then I don't care. I really, really don't. It's as simple as that. As long as we're staying on top, battling for trophies and all that, I'm happy to just sit back and let everyone else moan about all that. But anyway, that concludes this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also, press the push notifications button to get notifications on our other podcasts that will be coming up soon. Just want to say, make sure you're around Friday. That's a big one. There'll be a video, camera, all set up for that. That's what I'm really looking forward to. We'll be concentrating on topics from the coronavirus, the impact it's had on football, and also our team of the season predictions, along with awards. Awards like goal of the season, most improved player, manager of the year, manager of the season, young player of the year, and player of the year. So make sure you tune in for that, because there'll be other opinions as well. In the meantime, stay safe. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you all soon. Hello and welcome to Isolation Football.